Where is Zooble? Is this a new spoiler, and what does Garden of Banban have to do with it? Will we be able to see a new episode of our Amazing Digital Circus soon? Hello everyone. We have already seen many different spoilers and leaks related to the new episode. We have even been shown a little teaser of the new episode, but now we have been shown something more. Let's find out what it is. On February 2nd, Gooseworx published a very interesting post with the caption, "That damn cameraman is falling asleep again." And immediately we see a strange image that shows 4 silhouettes. One of the users immediately pointed out that this image was shown to viewers sometime before the release of the pilot episode. On the early leak, we were shown absolutely all the characters that will be involved in the future in the pilot episode. But what I found very strange was the fact that they were all arranged in exactly the same way. As far as I understand, this is their basic pose when they appear in the digital circus. Also, this leak is very similar to the beginning of any game where we have to decide which character we are going to play as. And since we can see all the characters except for Bubble and Kaufmo, we can assume that these 4 brand new characters will either appear together in the next episode or will be shown to us in different episodes. Anyway, I'm sure that this is not just a joke but a real spoiler from Gooseworx because it has never been seen to make fun of its audience. Now let's try to take a closer look at this image. We see 4 characters of different colors and already a huge number of theories are being built around them. Let's look at them one by one, and in the end we will find out who is who. The first character we see is a white cylinder, but if you look closely, you can see the outline of arms and legs. Wait, you don't think this is a good angle either? Let's flip our spoiler over. That's much better. A lot of people thought that this character was a cigarette, and it's actually very true. But I'm sure Gooseworx doesn't want to promote smoking to their audience because we all know how harmful it is. If you look closely, you can see that Neo has a very strange body because the white line that we can clearly see is just his belly or some kind of costume, and his real body is hidden in the back and is some kind of green substance. His right hand also stands out because it has a bright orange color, and by the way, the same color is in the eyes of this character. And if you look closely, you can see that at one point there is a clear transition between white and gray color, which means that this area is his head. And from the looks of it, his head will be elongated, like a dog's or a raccoon's. Now let's look at the most interesting character, this green monster, which on the one hand looks like a character from the cartoon Megamind, and on the other hand is an exact copy of the aliens in the most classic of their representations. However, this character has one major difference from all the other characters in our video. All the characters have a clear outline, and this green alien has a glow around the periphery of its body. And unlike all the others, I cannot see its eyes. I can also see that this character will be wearing a skirt, so we can safely say that it will be a girl. And I have a hunch that this whole green image is a full costume under which someone else is hiding. Could it be the well-known Kaufmo? Or maybe it's someone we've never seen before. Next, we will talk about another girl from this spoiler, namely this very interesting princess. Maybe it's the well-known Princess Peach from the Nintendo video game series, or maybe it's a reference to Piper from Brawl Stars. Of course, this is all a joke, and the author is not allowed to use a character from another universe without prior agreement due to copyright reasons. It is also noticeable that this princess has the tallest stature of all the newcomers, and I think she will be one of my favorites in the digital circus. But what's surprising is that she doesn't have a crown or a tiara on her head, but we can see a strange star on her head. What do you think that might tell us? And now for the funniest character of all. This is our new blue friend. I'll be honest with you, I was really surprised at how was represented by. Some think he's a Michelin reference, some think he's a recycled version of Huggy Wuggy. I can agree with them, but I can also disagree with their theories. You can see that this character is a kind of reference to Zooble, because he is not a whole creature like our Zooble. You can see that each part of his body is a separate sphere, connected to each other by the principle of a magnet. And it is important to note that this is the only character whose face we can see most clearly. At least you can tell exactly where his eyes and mouth are. And his face reminds me very much of the world-famous Freddy Bear. And his body is very similar to the character Blue from the Rainbow Friends universe. Remember at the beginning of our video, I mentioned the Garden of Banban. That was done on purpose so that you would keep that thought in your head until now and realize how easy it is to indoctrinate people into anything. Because these characters are really like characters from the Banban universe. And I don't want to say it, but there's still a possibility that the creators of the Amazing Digital Circus made a deal with the creators of this game and made some references to the characters in the Amazing Digital Circus. And it would be really interesting to see them as anti-heroes in a Kane adventure. But I'm pretty sure that's all just a theory, and now we'll get to the most interesting parts of our video, which is talking about these characters in the context of the Digital Circus and touching on the release date of the new episode. Based on what you've heard so far, you know that this image was shown to us before the release of the pilot episode. So this spoiler tells us about the upcoming release of the new episode, but we will talk about that later. We saw 4 new characters that will definitely appear in future episodes. Gooseworx themselves told us that Kaufmo was left out of all the festivities because there were too many characters available, so we understand that there will be no more than 6 characters in the digital circus. This means that we won't be able to see all 4 of them at once, and they will be shown to us gradually. Some in the next episode, some in the 3rd episode, and some in the 5th episode. And if this leak was shown now, then we can safely say that one of them will be in the next episode. But who exactly? I've already made a video on this topic where I speculate about it. Like many of you, I think Kinger or Pomni are the main contenders for abstraction in the next episode, but this image casts doubt on that theory. We all remember the final scene of the pilot episode where absolutely all the characters were sitting around the dinner table doing their own thing, but in this picture, we don't see Zubul. Of course, you can argue that Gooseworx said that the 3rd episode would be all about Zubul, but who is stopping them from changing the script a bit and dedicating the next episode to Zubul and adding someone new to the digital circus? I am 99% sure that this is exactly what will happen, and soon we will see a new character in our favorite digital circus. But who will it be? If you watched this video carefully, you remember how I said that this blue character is the reference of Zubul. So the new episode will show us all the secret sides of our strange girl or man. She has not decided yet, and somewhere in the middle of the episode, we will see the abstraction of our Zubul and the appearance of this interesting creature. I think that the princess character will appear somewhere in the 4th episode and will replace the cutest girl in the digital circus, Ragatha. I've been thinking a lot about who might replace the green alien. I'm sure he'll be Kinger's replacement because they're both very weird. And the weirdest shaped character will be Gangle's replacement because they both have very interesting bodies. Of course, this is all speculation. Write your opinion in the comments. And now it's time for dessert. Let's talk about the release of the new episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. A week ago, we were once again delighted to see Glitch publish a post with a reference to the famous anime Keep Your Hands Off Aizuken. So what's the big deal, and what does it have to do with the release? Some users suggested that the creators were hinting that there are too many channels creating content about the digital circus, and that all the assumptions about the new release date seem funny to them. So they decided to show everyone that no one has any idea when the new episode will be released. This means that this long-awaited event could be so soon that we have no idea. We've seen the new mini-teaser. We've seen the new characters. All of this screams to us that we will be able to enjoy the new episode in the near future, and now we will find out when it will happen. We won't see anything in January, LOL. I'm thinking between February and March. We've been told for a long time that you'll see more of the digital circus in early 2024, and all things considered, I'm sure we'll see a trailer for the 2nd episode very soon and a full episode by the end of February. And just for fun, remember my recent video, specifically its thumbnail. So it appeared on Twitter of our favorite Gooseworx in a joke post. In general, I can safely say that our channel is already known even to the creators. This means that we are already a big army that has some influence. Let's try to increase our ranks. I hope you liked this video because it took a lot of time and effort to create. That's all for now. I wish you good luck and success and say, see you soon in new videos that will appear every 2 days.